Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Street Logic Sports, very own basketball NBA podcast, Dedicate. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. The playoffs have been magnificent so far, and we have finally reached the epitome of what it's all meant to be, the NBA Finals. It has been finalized. The San Antonio Spurs have gone through past the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games. They will be taking on the reigning Eastern Conference champion, New York Knicks, who have come off back-to-back sweeps on their side of the bracket. An NBA Finals for the ages. San Antonio Spurs have not been to the finals in about 12 years. The New York Knicks have not been to the finals in 27 years. And it's a matchup, like I said, for the ages. Both cities, both huge basketball cities. San Antonio, realistically, all they really do have is basketball in the sports world. They don't have anyone else except for the University of Texas at San Antonio. The New York Knicks, obviously, Gotham, clearly, and you guys have seen that firsthand. Two magnificent players leading the way for each team. Jalen Brunson for the New York Knicks, Victor Wembanyama for the San Antonio Spurs, two generational talents. And the supporting casts are two of the best supporting casts in the NBA. We got New York Knicks with Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Landry Shamet, who's come out of nowhere. San Antonio Spurs, on the other hand, rookie sensation Dylan Harper, second year sensation, former rookie of the year Stephon Castle. You also got a vet in De'Aaron Fox, a vet in Harrison Barnes, a vet in Luke Cornett. You're also adding in Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, who are the longest tenured Spurs, who have been through turmoil, who have been through the 21 seasons under Greg Popovich, and have had to sit through shit just to get to the stage that they're in finally now. It's a very special edition because we're really going to only focus on one game, one series. Everyone knows about it. Probably the best series of basketball that we have seen in a long time. I'm joined by my two very amazing co-hosts as per usual. Majed, Isaiah Bruin, boys. How we doing?
How we doing, chat?
Doing good, baby.
We'll do a little bit of a finals preview as well. But we're going to focus a lot on Oklahoma City versus San Antonio. I have a quick little testimonial to the beautiful hoops that we watched for 7 straight games. From the very beginning of the season, early on, we started seeing that these teams really were who we thought they were. When Oklahoma City came in as the reigning NBA champs with the reigning MVP, who was coming off one of the greatest seasons in NBA history, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the only player to win Western Conference Finals MVP, NBA Finals MVP, NBA regular season MVP, and then an NBA championship all in the same year. They're coming in as the favorite already. They acquired Jared McCain midseason from the Philadelphia 76ers, and they add to what's already been a magnificent roster led by arguably one of the best coaches in the NBA, if not the best coach, in Mark Daigneault, and then having that supporting cast as well. But then we also know that Victor Wembanyama, his season was cut short last season due to that blood clot. We were waiting for him to make that step, to be that guy, to be the one that we thought was going to be the generational talent, to be the alien that everyone touted him to be. And he did just that. And a lot of people may argue that they thought he was the MVP this year, who to whom he lost it to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But then we also saw a bunch of things that we didn't expect. We saw Stephon Castle take a leap, a drastic leap from his rookie season that no one expected to see. We saw De'Aaron Fox come in and actually mesh beautifully well under Mitch Johnson and this offense. We saw Dylan Harper, who's a rookie out of Rutgers in New Jersey, to come in and step into his role probably in the most efficient way that we've seen a rookie step into an NBA championship role. This is a team that we did not have championship aspirations for, and they didn't even have it themselves. Julian Champagnie, who was a reject of the Philadelphia 76ers, or the forgive me, who was he with? Was he
Sixers.
Philly?
It was Philly.
Sixers. He was a reject, and he was waived by this team. And he comes in and becomes one of the best shooters in the postseason. You see a Luke Cornett who just got traded from the Boston Celtics. They let him walk and they let him go be the backup to Victor Wembanyama, create a magnificent moment in the Western Conference Finals in Game 7. And then last but not least, we see the guys who like Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, who have been there for so long, step into these roles of just being there and ready for their team to step up in the moment that they needed them to step up in. It was a beautiful culmination of everything. And Around midseason All-Star break, the matchup that everyone wanted to see was San Antonio versus Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals, the one versus the two, the reigning champ versus the potential upcoming champ. The generational guard, one of the best guards potentially that will be ever to play this game, versus the greatest talent that we might have ever seen set foot on a basketball court, the alien and Victor Wembanyama. Everything that we wanted was set up. It lined up perfectly. Oklahoma City found their path very easy on the way there. Two sweeps in a row in round one against the Phoenix Suns, round two against the LA Lakers. The San Antonio Spurs ran into a couple roadblocks on the way, 6 games against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they battled through and they showed their character and they ended up meeting with them in the NBA in the Western Conference Finals. Game one, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is presented with the MVP. We're watching Victor Wembanyama glaring at him. It was almost reminiscent of the David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon moment that everyone was alluding to after we found out that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was going to be the MVP. And Wemby comes out and responds in magnificent fashion. Oklahoma City loses game one at home to the San Antonio Spurs. Game two, the reigning champs, we knew they had to bounce back, and they did just that. You see guys like AJ Mitchell, guys like Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, they're rotating and playing great defense on Victor Wembanyama. Some very physical defense. A lot of times, a lot of fouls got let go, but it was physical basketball that we wanted to see. Even though the whistle may have not been as consistent as we wanted it to be, it was matched very well. 1-1. You go into game three. San Antonio loses their first Western Conference Finals playoff game at home in 12 years. And everyone's starting to wonder, well, damn, is this it? Like, are we in trouble now? But they come back out in game four. They bounce back beautifully, and they're able to take that win in where a game where Oklahoma City showed up very flat. An opportunity to take a 3-1 lead back home to Oklahoma City. Game five, the Thunder show why they're the reigning champs. They show why they're the reigning Western Conference champions. They step into game five, they come in and they move just differently. They're aggressive, buckets are falling. Shai has a magnificent performance. We go into game six, and this is a closeout game for Oklahoma City. And this is where you think this is where they're most dangerous. This is where they have the experience. This is where the reigning champs really step forward and actually put their foot down. But then San Antonio clobbers them by over 20 points. Game seven, stage is set. It's beautiful. Great opportunity for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to be like, I'm going to show you exactly why the fuck I'm the MVP of this league. And a great opportunity for Wembanyama to be like, this is my league now. And if you want it, you're going to have to come snatch this shit from me. We saw the stage set between Wemby and Chet from the moment that they were 17 years old. When he had the FIBA World Championships for the under 17s or the under 18s. When he lost the quote unquote meaningless tournament to the United States. And he saw Victor Wembanyama crying because he got fouled out in that game and he lost the MVP and lost the title. And you see how much it meant to him. And you see the look in his eyes. He went out there and dominated. The Spurs went out there and took care of business. Julian Champagnie hitting 6 threes in magnificent fashion. Looked like a lethal, lethal shooter from beyond the arc. Dylan Harper having back-to-back-to-back amazing plays, including a shot that was so reminiscent of the shot that Andrew Nembhard hit over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in game one of the NBA Finals. And he hit it in game seven in the Western Conference Finals over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander again. Shai dominates on the offensive side of the field, on the offensive side of the court, dropping 34 points. He was amazing. He was awesome. And he showed why he was the MVP, but it wasn't enough. And a lot of people may say it's injuries or whatever the case may be. There's no excuse. Shai took it on the chin, said San Antonio was the better team that night. You saw the tears streaming from Wembanyama's face as he hugged his entire team. It painted a beautiful image, and it finally got rid of that little nonchalant bullshit gimmick that we've been seeing for so long from all these athletes. Wembanyama has brought a mentality back to this game where it's like, it's okay to care. It's okay to want this shit badly. It's okay for your life and your career to depend on something that you really, 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 really want this. And Anthony Edwards is my favorite player in the NBA, but numerous times we've talked about he's been addressed as the next face of the league. He's like, man, there's Wembanyama. I don't want this face of the league shit. I'm tired of hearing this, guys. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm sick. People are asking Wemby, did it bother you that you lost this? Did it bother you that you didn't get MVP? He's not fronting about it. He's being straight up. Yes, I was upset that I didn't win MVP. I felt like I fucking deserved it. Fair. You see him glaring at SGA. You see him constantly going after Chet and talking shit to Chet and talking shit to Caruso, saying that this is a rivalry. Yes, this motherfucker took some shit from me since I was when I was 17. I'm never gonna forget that shit. I'm gonna let it fuel me to this day. And you saw all that culminate into that beautiful moment after the game. And yes, they celebrated hard, and a lot of people criticized them for celebrating hard and crying about winning a Western Conference Finals. It's okay to be like that. It's fine. They still know that they have 4 more games to win. They are aware. And people pointed to how New York didn't celebrate after they swept the Cavs in 4. There's a difference between sweeping a team in 4 and going to the NBA Finals and going 7 games with the NBA champs and beating them on their home court and fighting all these critiques and these critics throughout the entire season. Are they good enough? Do they have enough experience? It was beautiful. It was perfect. It was some of the best basketball I think that we have watched in a very long time. And in my opinion, I think it was the best series of basketball that we watched since the 2016 NBA Finals between Golden State and Cleveland. That's my opinion. That's what I have to say on the series. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to pass it off to one of you guys. I'm going to let you guys take over. But that's how I see it. Some of the best basketball that I've watched, pure hoops, sometimes unethical, but that's perfectly fine because that's the world we live in now. And it turned out to be the series that everyone wanted it to be.
That was a beautiful, uninterrupted testimony from you, Yousuf. I really appreciate that.
Thank
One
you.
part that I'd love to pinpoint even more is when you spoke about the passion that Victor Wembanyama displayed at the end of Game 7, and crying those tears of joy, everything that he's put into his career, going back to, you saying how he will never forget that Chet Holmgren took something from him, how Shea took something from him, and he wanted his get back. And it's as simple as that. And something to really talk about here, and you said it yourself. You said, we're in the era of athletes being a little too nonchalant about their profession, about what they worked their entire lives for. I think it's okay to just cry a little bit when you win, cry a little bit when you lose, give props when it's due, talk shit when it's due. Like, it's those little things that have kind of been lost in sports, especially now more than ever. That's what made it so, I guess, beautiful is the word to say here. Not to be corny or anything like that, but it speaks volumes to not just sports, but just everyday life. Like when you really love something, when you truly have a passion for something, when you want something so bad, it's okay to show people that because it burns a light under everybody. It shows them that like it's okay for you to care. It's okay for you to work hard. Like that shit is not corny. And I don't know how we've gotten to this point in today's world where it's a joke or it's cringe or it's this or that to like care. It's okay to care. And you're seeing it on full display what caring and what passion really gets you in today's world, you know? So that's probably like my biggest takeaway from the series that we just watched. For me, like if we want to expand on just what Street Logic Sports is in general, like what we want to do is we want to highlight how sports makes us feel and what sports can make someone who necessarily is like getting into sports, someone who's kind of new to this, someone who's, being introduced to the sports world. Like this is the stuff that makes you stick, makes you stay, makes you kind of fall in love with the game itself. It's what made me fall in love, watching Kobe Bryant growing up. I think I credit pretty much everything that I enjoy about sports to Kobe Bryant because he showed the same shit that Victor Wembanyama is showing. It's okay to care. And it's okay for me to love sports. It's okay for me to be a nerd about it. It's okay for me to, you know, fucking cry when my favorite player wins or cry when my favorite team loses, like this, that, and the other. So it's just getting rid of that sloppy ass fucking new narrative that like everything needs to be so nonchalant, like carry yourself the same way no, all of that is done. We're shifting into a new age. Passion is back and it's beautiful. I'm enjoying every second of it. And congratulations to the San Antonio Spurs. They deserve every moment of this. You can tell that they wanted this more than Oklahoma City, and that's why they are going to the NBA Finals.
about passion and emotion. Like that's really what sports is, like you said, right? Obviously, we see it many times when teams lose, how all these players react and their emotions get in the way and they're crying and everyone's like, "Oh, feel bad for this guy. He just lost a tough game." Well, let's be excited for the guy that won the tough game. You know what I mean? So people forget Wemby's only 22. He just turned 22, right? So this guy's still a young kid. Obviously, never lived in America, came into the NBA, starts living in America. Like passion over there, back obviously in France, back overseas, you see it. The emotion, that's why a lot of people go soccer fans are the best fans of the world because you see that emotion, you see like the energy they bring. One Beach trying to integrate that into the NBA. So to see obviously that emotion, it's a good thing for the league. And the second thing I want to kind of pinpoint is what Yousuf said is this has probably been the best NBA playoffs we have witnessed since 2016, right? As a series wise, as a whole playoff series, maybe 2019 when Toronto beat Golden State, like that series ever since then, like I don't know if you guys feel the same way I was, but obviously seeing the Suns versus Bucks, it was cool at the time because you see CP3 in the finals, hasn't been in the finals, but like seeing the Suns, but it wasn't like an exciting. Like every year was someone injured, someone hurt. The era of the NBA ended where it was no longer a big three. It was about having like a dominant big in Giannis, in Jokic. We've seen Jokic succeed for 3, 4 straight years, right? And then it kind of passed down more to okay, trying to just build a bunch of young talent like the Celtics, getting all those role players like the Celtics did, the way Miami did, having one superstar and just a bunch of talent around. So I think we're just getting to a new era now with all these draft picks, with all these teams. We're going to see the Spurs kind of the same era we saw Denver for a couple years, the way we saw Oklahoma last year, and probably going to see Oklahoma for a little until those contracts come. So I think it's just something to be excited to look forward to moving forward. The NBA is just in a good spot again. It's exciting. Like you said, the Knicks haven't been to the championship in 20 years. The Lakers are finally good again. They finished nearly third seed, I'm going to say, because it was really just one game off. The Spurs are back in the finals. I think it's a good time when New York, LA, all these teams are where they need to be. I think the NBA is in a good spot.
Yeah, a product that's been shit on for countless years is finally, showing a pulse again, which is incredible. And one more thing before we move on from Victor Wembanyama himself, I think, speaking on how he's a 22-year-old, the the way he talks about his teammates, like I don't know if you guys saw what he was talking about when he was speaking on Julian Champagnie, the way that he's speaking on Dylan Harper, the way he's speaking about Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Luke Cornett, the way he speaks about his teammates, the way he praises, the way he encourages, the way he encouraged, Carter Bryant on the bench, saying that he was proud of him. Like these little pieces, like we're witnessing something new yet old at the same time. It's hard for me to really
And I want to
explain.
shout out, I
Yeah.
want to shout out Chris Paul for that. That 1 year Chris Paul had with Wemby. You guys can say what you guys want, but that made a huge impact on Wemby. Wemby did mention it. Still having Pop around the facility, Tim Duncan, Ginobili, all these kind of like veterans around him. Wemby showing that veteranship, no understanding. Okay, this is my team, this is my league. I gotta also act like I'm a veteran because in the end of the day, the oldest guy we talk about on this team is De'Aaron Fox, one of the oldest guys on the team. He's only 31. Like we're talking about 31 as the oldest player on the team. So like him having that veteranship, and you mentioned obviously the little points of him just speaking highly
Harrison,
about the
Harrison
Spurs.
Barnes is a little
Oh,
older.
I'm sorry, I forgot about Harrison
Yeah,
Barnes. I
yeah.
forgot he's on the team. But other than that, just seeing that veteranship from him is just very impressive. Seeing at this young age, and shout out Chris Paul for that.
I,
Yeah.
honestly, Chris Paul had to have watched this series like a proud dad, not just because of Wemby, but because of Shea as well.
Yeah.
He spent his
His
latter
two
years of his
sons.
career. Yeah, he literally modeled, and they both spoke so highly of Chris Paul and how much it meant for them to have him in their corner and on their team in those early developmental years for themselves. And Chris Paul spoke to how important it was for him to spend that year in Oklahoma City because he said Shea treated him like no other teammate had ever treated him before. He was constantly inviting him over and always just trying to pick his brain. And the same thing from Shea to Chris Paul. Shea said that Chris Paul took him under his wing and taught him so much. You saw on the court and even at the All-Star break when they did that little dumbass shit, Wemby and Chris Paul, and they ruined the skills challenge, you could see how much of an effect like Chris Paul has on the guys around him. And honestly, it would if San Antonio wins this NBA title, it would please me to see San Antonio go out of their way and give this man a ring because he had a very strong effect on that team. There's
Yeah.
no two ways about it. I would love to see it, and he's only a year removed from when he left.
I would
I
love to
think I
see him
think
join their coaching staff. I think that would
for
work
sure,
wonders for them as well. Um,
for sure.
yeah, Yusuf, you had the floor. I think it's my turn to have the
It's my
floor.
Your
turn.
word, bro. Your word,
It's
bro.
It's
my turn.
my turn. I'd like to do something that we have yet to do on this show. We've never done it in the history of this show, actually, and I'd like to do a little instant replay here. Um, so sit back, grab some popcorn, and listen. Or
Bro,
over Chet Holmgren.
Chet,
No,
Chet averaged 17, 9, and 2 blocks per game. Like it's hard to sit here and just be like that guy does not deserve to be in an
no,
all
no.
NBA team.
Chet is there. Chet is definitely there. With the
Like
season he
fuck,
averaged, let
fuck
alone
yeah.
with
Ignore
like
the
with the
the
team he
top 15
has.
players.
Like
Ignore
this is the thing
the
too. Is with Chet too. Is like you say these numbers. Like these are unbelievable numbers with the fact that I know J-Dub was out most of the year, so they relied on Chet a lot more. But we're talking about AJ Mitchell that stepped in. We talk about obviously them trading for Jared McCain later in the year. Like this team was stacked to the max. Like for him to still average this with the squad that they had and Hartenstein still getting minutes, like still very impressive. So
yeah,
I don't think you could sit here and say Chet didn't deserve it.
Oh, I'm
correct. I
saying he
mean,
didn't deserve it.
You're saying he didn't, or you're saying
Didn't.
elaborate, please.
I just told you. I told you two guys that I would take over him. I would take Karl Anthony Towns over him, and I would take Denny Avdia over him.
it's just like you can't like it's
I just don't want to discredit what he was able to do. I mean, the guy was still a defensive menace as well as like an offensive threat for Oklahoma City at a team that finished number one overall in the Western Conference. An offensive threat.
I wouldn't necessarily call him an offensive threat. However, I think he's a very
Threat's
good
harsh.
supplemental piece to Oklahoma City's offense. I wouldn't call him a threat. No one's
Yeah.
no one's game planning for Chet Holmgren's offensive capabilities. No one's doing that.
I mean, bro, if you're not game planning for a 7'1" power forward, I think you got issues. I'm gonna be honest.
So, as you guys can see, that was not AI. Those were real spoken words. And now that you have all heard the treason that was displayed on last week's episode of Dedicate, I urge all of you to please stay subscribed through all of Yousuf and Majid's trials and tribulations. Now, on to Chet Holmgren. I'd like to send my deepest regards to the Charlotte Hornets, who will unfortunately have to hang his jersey in the rafters when he delivers them their first ever 3 seed. That is, of course, after OKC trades him for a used 3-in-1 bottle of shampoo and a half-eaten oxtail. The entity from the back rooms managed to take 2 shots in a Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. And I truly believe that if you went up to Ben McLemore and gave him an Oklahoma City jersey and told him to lace it up, he would have at least gotten you 8 shots. But unfortunately, he is giving you 8 years in the Oregon State prison because he was convicted of rape. The 2025 NBA All-Star, Chet Holmgren, crowned offensive threat by yours truly, averaged 10 points and 7 rebounds, shooting 27% from three. Now, look, I hate to be the guy from the couch sitting there criticizing a multi-million-dollar NBA athlete, yet these guys are paid those millions of dollars from the people who continue to entertain this horse shit on live television, that being the fans. We have a right to criticize the product that I gave unholy amounts of money to Peacock just to watch this piece of shit dribble a basketball. When you are handed $250 million just to impersonate Kwame Brown, because obviously we know you like to think that you're black, Chet Holmgren, the criticism is allowed just as much as the validation you seem to constantly get on your knees for. This is a grown man's sport, and you just simply didn't cut it. I wish I didn't have to be so OD, just like I'm sure wish you were shooting more hang poles. You worthless sack of shit. That is all I have to say about Chet Holmgren.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, they did game plan to shut his ass down and it worked.
and let alone they have a 7'4" who's probably going to be the greatest defender ever guarding
And,
him.
and what was that game plan exactly?
Dunk on him and take his confidence. That was the exact moment that happened, by the
Yeah,
way.
you could tell he went to the back and put a tampon in. He was
Yeah.
scared.
He I
He looked like a deer in headlights, bro. I haven't seen someone
He
like
tucked his
that
tail
scared of a
so
moment.
hard, bro.
I haven't seen someone that scared of a moment in a long time. You know what I mean? Like, it's shocking to me. Like, they really
Yeah.
took his soul from him.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, I mean that obviously lit a fire under my ass. And you two lit a fire under my ass as well. And I'm someone who likes to just pull the little things from criticism and from conversation, especially when we talk about sports. I know you guys can pinpoint that too when we go back to the Pick Six podcast. Like any little arguments I get into, it's usually about just little statements that are made here and there. And I just could not let that one thing fly. I could not let it fly.
Well, Zay,
Imagine
if we're
you
speaking about
cannot speak
statements,
right now. You are
listen,
not allowed
listen,
to say words.
listen. If we're gonna speak about statements, which is gonna kind of get to this next topic, right? That was a bad one. So I got to recover from that, and I got to double down, right? So I'm gonna stick by what I said last week, and I'm gonna stick with it that the New York Knicks will not last more than 5 games against the San Antonio Spurs. I said whoever advances between OKC and San Antonio is gonna sweep or a gentleman sweep. It's gonna be in 5 max. New York might get one game 3 or game 4. They're gonna lose the first 2 in San Antonio. All right. No one, not no cat, not no Mitchell Robinson with his half pinky that's remaining, not
Did y'all
Josh
see how
Hart who wants to
pissed
play
Mike Brown was
center.
about that?
Yeah, I know, bro. No one is stopping Wemby that series. Okay, as long as the Spurs come with a good game plan and don't put Castle on Brunson so he doesn't get fouled out like he was getting fouled out every single game against OKC, they'll be just fine.
Let's talk about it. I I want to know like if you could pinpoint one huge thing about why the Knicks are going to get gentlemen swept in the NBA Finals. What is it?
For me personally, I know you guys could argue obviously the talent they had. In the end of the day, right? And we could use this argument. I don't want to use this argument because we could say the same about LeBron, his whole entire career, where the East is just ran through and easy. That's what I felt like with the Knicks. But it's just Brunson is that guy, and I love Brunson, and now he's still gonna get 30 no matter what you throw at him. Brunson's still gonna get his points. I just think band for band with everything, I just don't see like what I was seeing from Champagny last series that already I can go band for band with Ananobi or Mikal Bridges just from that series, right?
No.
You could say what you want, Yousuf. You got Vassell. That's another guy that could go band for band with one of those two. Okay, you got Castle, who I think is phenomenal. Yousuf, you're a huge fan of Castle as well. I want to know who's going to be guarding Castle. Okay, you might put Josh Hart, someone, or you need someone that's quick on him. All
Mikal
right,
Bridges?
put Mikal Bridges on him. Mikal Bridges is not standing in front of Castle. I'm telling you that from now. This boy's too much. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. All right.
You telling me Mikal Bridges doesn't play defense?
Dylan Harper. Tell me someone the Knicks have on their team that's going to come off the bench that's as good as Dylan Harper. And don't say
Landry
Landry Shamet.
Shamet.
Don't say it. Stop.
Shamet 4-3.
Shamet 4-3.
I will
Yes!
I will interfere here. I will remind you. Dylan Harper showed up big time for the San Antonio team.
Got you.
He is still a rookie.
Got
And
you.
rookies
That
have
boy
their
ain't no
moments.
rookie. That boy ain't no rookie.
He
That
ain't no,
boy,
he
his
ain't no
daddy,
regular rookie.
That boy ain't no rookie boy.
that boy grew up in Chino Hills with LeVar. Listen, you guys could love Cat all you want, right? Cat's impressed me this last year.
I don't
I
love
just
Cat. I don't.
I'm just saying this. I'm just saying I think Wemby was so dominant and then Oklahoma threw a couple things at him that people were like, okay, Wemby might be a little bit human, but then Wemby reminded everyone he's not human. And I don't think anyone on this New York Knicks team is going to be able to stop Wemby.
For Wemby, it's not necessarily about like making him look human. I guess like Wemby's issue has always just been like he can always take over a game whenever he wants to. But
When he decides.
you can tell sometimes like his selflessness gets in the way of that at times and exhaustion as well. Like we talk about him as like this freak of nature. We call him the alien. We call him this. We say his talent is unmatched. We've never seen anything like it. But just like us, he is human. He has a cardiovascular system that can give out, you know? And we're talking about a guy who just played a 7 game series, busting his ass, played a double OT game. You know, we're talking about a guy who is exhausted. He is 7'4". His legs are longer than ours, so his legs get more tired than ours. That's just how the human body works. So I don't think it's gonna be like one of those like we're gonna still see like human games from Wemby. That's just the nature of basketball. That's how it is. We can't just sit there and say that the guy is gonna go out there and drop 40 and 20 every single game because
As
I
long as
don't
he
think he
doesn't,
will.
as long as he doesn't do what he was doing, shooting threes 0 for 8. Like me and you were frustrated texting the whole time during those games. Like there's so many times like just
The
sit
three
in the
ball,
paint,
yes.
right? It's like you can take over, go in the paint. He wants to play this outside style of like
Well, it's not even just that. Like it hinders everyone else. Like when your starting center decides to take 8 threes and he misses 7 of them, like that doesn't just hinder you, it hinders your team. It hinders your team's ability to get into the
no
interior.
rhythm, no rhythm.
Yeah, no rhythm, you play slower, like it affects everything. So that's also another thing that's going to play into part with this series. Him wanting to mimic the actions of Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to need to get out of that behavior and kind of play his own game. Something he likes to do is he kind of likes to to follow in other his like opposition's footsteps sometimes. And that's why we see these like good game, off game, good game, off game. Like you kind of see him teetering back and forth because he can't really pick and choose how the way he wants to play each game. And I think that he's going to run into that issue with Karl Anthony Towns, who is one of the best three-point shooting bigs in the league. And knowing Wemby, he likes to kind of take those narratives and crown them himself. You know, kind of like he was owed that shit. He's gonna take that shit. You know what I mean? He's gonna create something in his head to motivate him. That's why Wemby is so good. He plays off. I hate to use the word, but he plays off hatred. It fuels him. It's very clear
He
that
said
that's
it
what he does.
himself, by the way.
Yeah, you
Those are
know.
his
So
words.
I think he's gonna have a little bit of a an issue with Karl Anthony Towns in the way that he plays, and he's going to want to kind of show that. And I think that that might hinder him a little bit in the series. I don't think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep by any means. I think, you know, you bring up the Eastern Conference, Majed. The same thing could have said about the Indiana Pacers last year and the road that they had and the injuries that they had every single series leading up to the NBA Finals. Did they not have an easy road? But did they take the Oklahoma City Thunder to a 7 game series? Yes, they did. You know, the same thing can be said about the Boston Celtics when they went to the NBA Finals and they played the Dallas Mavericks. You know, the road that they had, they eventually won. You know, like the Eastern Conference thing, like I get it. It's very clear and obvious that the Eastern Conference is not up to par with the Western Conference. That is no joke. But the thing about it is like you play who's in front of you. Yeah, that's all you can do. And what they did to every single team that they played, they obliterated them. They played like they didn't even belong in the same conversation with them, let alone conference. So I think using the Eastern Conference, you know, argument here is a little bit.
But I just want to stop you here because I get the idea you're saying, and you do bring up a good point. But just to correct you, like I'm looking back though, last year, like they play Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks in the first series, the Pacers. It was not no easy road. And then they go ahead and play the first seed, who were the first seed Cavs last year. I
They
get
play
it.
Giannis and the
After
Milwaukee
the
Bucks
Cavs,
with Damian Lillard tearing
I
his Achilles.
I got you that. But what I'm saying is, and then next they go play the number one seed Cavs, and we could say what we want now because we've seen the Cavs now. But at the time that they're playing, you're playing the number one seed, who everyone I guarantee you had their money on the Cavs that series because they were just on fire. They go and win that series, and then to finish off the NFC Championship, the NFC, I said NFC, my bad. The Eastern Conference Finals. I'm just ready for football, guys. It's a big day today in football. Eastern Conference Finals. They go and they play obviously the New York Knicks, who obviously played a very close game with Boston and won. So
Yeah, and Tom Thibodeau was a terrorist. I'm just
It's
I
saying.
just the
get you. I get you.
truth.
I get you. But shout out Indiana for what they did. Shout out New York. In the end of the day, you did bring up a good point. You play who's in front of you. They made it here. But I'm gonna stick
And
with my
mind you, they
statement though.
won every single closeout game by 40 points or more.
Yes,
Every
because
single one.
The Atlanta Hawks decided to shit the bed.
I'm just saying, man. Like, if you want any team, if you want to bring up any team to really show that they are the best team from that conference, the New York Knicks did it the best that you could do it.
And that's
They
fine. And that's what I'm saying.
absolutely
Respect to
fucking
them.
demolished everyone they played.
Yeah,
Matt,
and
let's
respect to them. But I'm just gonna stick with
let's also remind people that none of us sat here and said the New York Knicks are making the NBA Finals, especially when they were down 2-1 to Atlanta. And now we're sitting here wondering, like, is this team cooked. Like, is their window closed? Like, we knew they were a threat
Hmm.
to whoever was going to face them, but we didn't know Atlanta was going to come out and look this good. And then 3 games straight, they just run through them, like run through them.
Yeah.
And then Philly comes along, and we're like, okay, well, this Philly team is not like one to be taken lightly. Like Embiid looks like he wants it. Maxi's dangerous. VJ looks like he doesn't look like a rookie. Like he's playing really good. PG looks like his old self. Sweep.
Well,
Okay.
same could be said about San Antonio when they lost game one to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
No, well, obviously,
Like, did we
I think
really see that they would make it to where they are now in that current
I
moment?
think we no 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 we definitely said no. There we definitely 100% sat there and said San Antonio versus Oklahoma City
I know,
for
but I'm
sure.
speaking to the mishaps and confidence when it comes to the two teams. Like
No, for sure.
they both had bumpy roads at some
Yeah,
point within the postseason.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I mean,
But
my
if what
argument
if
right
out of
now,
both teams, who showed to be more dominant?
no, yeah, my argument right now is that New York is not going to get gentlemen swept or swept in this finals. That's
Yeah, I
just
know
my
you don't think that.
my
I'm speaking directly to Majed.
no, I know,
I'm gonna
and
stick by
that's
that. I
my
respect you
that's
guys' opinion, but
this
I
is
respect.
if the Knicks are going to win this series, I think they do it in 7.
It's the
Okay.
only way.
That is the only way I see it happening. The Spurs, like my here's where I stand. Now, I'm just gonna tell you guys my opinion and my hope early on, and just get out of the way. Because we've watched this New York team transition from the moment they got Jalen Brunson, and they've progressively gotten better each time. For me, I want to see New York do it only because these players' window is coming to a close. Like the guys like Brunson and Cat and Josh Hart. Like I'm not saying they're getting old, but I'm saying for them as a team, I think that window is starting to close. And I think this if they're and we said it after they got past Cleveland, like if there's any time to do it, it's right now. Like they have to do it now because I personally don't think they're gonna make it back to the NBA Finals next year.
Unless
That's
they
just
go
me.
get Giannis.
Unless they find a way to do that. But I just think with this group that they have, this fun group, the Nova Knicks, and all the guys that they have that are from the Northeast, from the Jersey and New York area, they have all these guys on their team like Jose Alvarado and Cat and Brunson and Mikel, who's from Philly, who's just a couple hours south, and Josh Hart, who's from Pennsylvania as well. So you have all these guys that are from that area. I want to see this team win one with that group because that window is closing on that team. And the reason why I say this is because San Antonio is a very, very young team. They could very well be back in the NBA Finals next season and the season after that, too. So they'll have their fair share of opportunities to win. So that's why I kind of want, like, my heart says New York in 7, but my mind is telling me Spurs in 6. So that's where I stand. I know it's not a solid prediction. You guys know who I want now, but you also know who I think is going to do it.
It's
It's
crazy. It's crazy how we've entered this era of the NBA where we're talking about a team whose average age probably isn't even 30. And we're talking about how their
Yep.
window is closed compared to a team who is being led by a 22-year-old.
I
Like, isn't that
know.
fucking wild how that we've developed to this point of the
Yep.
league?
But there's
Like,
this.
it used to be where like teams who are the average age of like 24, like they aren't even making the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause you got to
The,
earn your stay in the
the
NBA.
crazy thing is, bro, is because all these young guys have so much mileage on their legs already. Because they're like their
Mhm.
whole it's
You could thank
it's
AAU
not
for
like the
that.
old days. It's not like the old days where AAU was a thing and they were playing basketball year
You're not
round.
playing 365. You're not playing
Bro,
360.
these kids are playing 365. During the summer, it's basketball tournaments, numerous AAU teams if you're playing at a high level and you're actually really good and one of the best in your class. Then you go into training camp. Then you go and you're training by yourself. Then you have basketball season in high school. Then you play on travel teams. Then you have prep teams. Then you have constant tournaments. Then you get selected for the USA team. Then you get selected for the McDonald's All American team. Then you're doing a bunch of All Star teams. Then you go into college and now you're training like a madman. Then
Or
you
are these kids that are playing pro ball before they're even 18, like
that's that
Luca and
too.
Wemby?
Yes, bro. Like there's mileage on these kids' legs. So you don't think like we don't sit here and say like this guy's gonna have a very long career because we've seen guys like Tyrese, guys, tear their Achilles, bro. Like an Achilles tear is an old injury. It's not a young injury. The Kobe made it famous. That's the fact. Like we saw Hakeem Olajuwon do it, and he came back and played normal. Kobe's the one that like everyone looks at the Achilles injury and they think Kobe Bryant first because he was 34. All right.
Pushing his
And
body to the brink of exhaustion, trying to will that team to the playoffs.
yeah, and year after year, bro, year after year, it's nonstop. So there's so much mileage on the legs of these young guys that you want to see them get it done early on. And the younger they are, the more fast paced they play, the harder it is for them to keep up. And now when people start hitting the age of 30, despite the fact that we're seeing guys play very well into their 30s and play at a good level, when they start getting to that age, you can start sensing like a little bit of a drop off, even though they may not be dropping off as bad as they are. I like again for me, I'm not saying it from an individualistic standpoint of every single player. I'm saying it from a collective as the Nova Knicks, those New York Knicks, that team in particular. I don't know if they can do it again. I don't know how it's gonna look next year. I don't know if Philly's gonna be the same. I don't know if Boston's gonna be the same. They might be more dangerous. We also don't know how Indiana's gonna look when Tyrese comes back. And we also don't know
Detroit might improve too. They might make a move
Detroit
or
could
two.
potentially get better. Like there's so many things that we have to question. We don't know if Miami can make a move. Like what's gonna happen? Like what are they gonna do? So many questions. With the Spurs, I feel like they're more solidified because they're so young, because they don't have to pay that much money right now, because you could tell like there's a cornerstone in the more numerous cornerstones of the organization.
Like this is one of those series, and that's why I'm so happy and like I really think basketball is back. Like I can't find myself rooting against the Knicks, nor can I find myself rooting against Wemby and the story that he's creating, because I think a ring in year three really supports this narrative that everyone's brought to Wemby since he's joined the NBA. You know, this whole idea that he's going to be the next greatest of all time, the next face of the NBA, the next LeBron or whatever you want to call it. Like there's so many different narratives here to love, and it's hard to root against. Like I truly can't sit here and tell you that the Knicks don't have a chance. They do have a chance. They are playing some of the best basketball they've ever played, since they were a fucking franchise, since they were created. So, and it's hard for me to root against a guy like Jalen Brunson, who's really got it out the mud, went from 12 points per game on the Mavericks to getting $100 million from the Knicks and going over double his points average in his first year with the Knicks. So there's just a lot of good stories here. You talk about the Nova Knicks and how happy the team is. The chemistry is at an all-time high. Then you talk about the passion and the love for the game that the Spurs, exemplify. It's just I just want to see good basketball. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't
Yeah.
want to. This is the one series where I don't want to make a prediction. I don't want to make a guess. I don't want to say this team's gonna win or this team's gonna lose. I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I just want to watch good hoops.
Everyone's better than Jalen Brunson until it's time to be better than Jalen Brunson.
Exactly.
I'm gonna stick with my prediction. Like I said, out of respect for the Knicks, I'm gonna give them one game. I personally think it's gonna I personally think it's gonna end in five.
Out of
So,
respect for the Knicks, I'm gonna disrespect the fuck out of the Knicks.
okay, listen. In the end of the day, I want to mention something too. We were talking about earlier, saying how I forgot one of you guys were talking about how the Knicks swept the Cavs and they have the energy like four more to go. They're not celebrating, and then the Spurs are celebrating being the OKC in seven. Because the reason of that is the Spurs realized they won the championship when they won that game. That was the championship series. Even if somehow New York somehow wins this series, we're all gonna look
Oh
at
my
the
God,
series
bro.
was that OKC San Antonio. People
Get
talked about
this
it post
shit
All
out of
Star
here,
break.
bro.
I'm telling you, that was the NBA. We witnessed the NBA Finals. Right now, what we're about to witness is just another series. The NBA Finals is what we already witnessed. That seven
Imagine this
games.
this could blow up in your face like so
Hey,
Really,
hard.
and
really bad.
I'm ready for it. Pause.
Bruh, you bugging. I don't know what kind of statement that is.
When I'm right though, and we're recording this 2 weeks from now when the series is concluded, maybe a week and a half. I'll
It
be
would
here.
be beautiful. It would be beautiful for you to have like a 5 minute uninterrupted moment if the San Antonio Spurs were to go out there and sweep the Knicks. It would be
Oh no, no, no,
Or
no,
one
no.
in five,
Hey,
or one in five.
he's getting that 5 minute and uninterrupted moment regardless, by the way.
yeah,
It's either gonna be a gloat or it's gonna be an apology.
yeah. Or me and you
And
scoring
when
a
it's a
touchdown.
glow, yeah, you guys, I want to hear sorry from both of you guys. All right.
I will apologize to you with on my hands and knees.
Hey, you heard it. Clip
Live
it,
on this
chat,
show. I will get
chat.
on my knees and apologize to you if the Spurs sweep the Knicks.
And I'm gonna say this: you have balls making that, knowing that this is a very big possibility of the
But
Spurs
I
winning in
will
five.
text you the stipulation if that does not happen. And you have to do it too. Okay? So that will be seen 2 weeks from now on the
Shake on
show
it.
after the finals end.
Shake on it.
All
All right.
right. It's official. We got a deal, ladies and gentlemen. We got a bet.
Deal
Uh,
or no deal.
that's crazy.
This was a
This,
lovely conversation, lads. You
yeah,
know,
it was
these
great.
shows where we just ditch the doc, ditch the stats, ditch the preparation. Sometimes you just gotta have a beautiful conversation, like the beautiful
Yeah.
basketball that we watched the other
And
night.
we're nearing the end of Dedicate here for this season too, boys. So I mean, it's just been a great restart to get to the playoffs and continuously cover the playoffs. But the beauty of it is
It
we're
ain't
gonna start
over.
transitioning into the NBA Finals. After the NBA Finals, we got the fucking World Cup starting actually at the same time as the NBA Finals,
And
which I'm
boys, we
geeked
got some
for.
NFL, bro.
We got some NFL after that. Oh my god,
Just
bro.
want to let you guys know. Expect
I'm
some
geeked.
NFL within the week or two. Expect a little bit of NFL on the Insta, on the TikTok. So
Yep.
tune into that.
Yeah,
We
even
got
on
some
the
Expect
shit
some.
Patreon,
dropping.
Magic's gonna talk about the Eagles naked.
Uh,
Man,
I know y'all want to see that shit.
Expect some different ass content for the World Cup too. I'm going to be heading to a fan zone in Washington D.C. where the World Cup will be viewed. It's going to be a very fun time. I'm going to interview a bunch of people from all over the world. We're going to have a lot of people traveling from all over the world. It's going to be fantastic. So many people are coming from all over the world.
All
It's
right,
going to be as
y'all.
good as this one.
Rashad McCants out the mud.
Boy, it's out the mo. We got Rashad McCants. I appreciate you guys. This is a quick little episode as a preview of the finals, but it was a review of the conference finals. Um, Make sure you tune in with us on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere that we are on social media, X, Threads, whatever the
the
fuck we
hub,
do.
everything.
TikTok, we on TikTok. We're doing our shit on TikTok, man. Come on, tune in with us on TikTok. Continue to show love. We appreciate you guys for doing it. You're the reason we're doing this, man. We're continuously staying active because we're seeing a lot of people interact with us. So we appreciate you guys arguing in the comments like madmen.
Fill up the
Um,
comments, guys. Fill up the comments.
yes,
Ask us
sir.
stuff. Flame us if we said something wrong.
Flame
Use
Majed for the
Praise,
take that he just
use
had as
praise,
well.
bro.
praise, praise,
You.
praise, praise Isaiah for the one good take he had about what's his name, uh, Chet, Chet, whatever his name is. But
Yeah, and
that's
Flame
us, man.
Majed for the bullshit that he just stated about the Knicks being gentlemen swept or swept in the finals. Like,
They're
Hey,
getting they're getting gentlemen swept.
we'll let the basketball do the talking, y'all. We got the NBA finals coming up on Wednesday.
and we appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, it's been Dedicate. We've been your hosts, Yousuf Shaban, Isaiah Brune, Majid Jisri. Tune in. It's Street Logic Sports. You know where to find us at.